governance information. From 2004 and 2013, Tom Dodd was a member of the Corporate Social Responsibility team of the CSR in the European Commission's Directorate General for Enterprise and Industry. And as I mentioned before, since 2013 he works at the Bioeconomy Directorate. He is a fellow of the LEAD International, a unique global network of leaders in sustainable development.
Just so that you situate the person standing before you, where I work and what I do. I work in the European Commission. The European Commission is the executive branch of the European Union. That means that when the European Union decides to do something, it's us in the European Commission that tends to do it. We are also, to a large extent, the setters of political agenda, and we are the proposers, the initiators of any legislation that comes through the EU system. I stress, initiators of, it doesn't mean we take final decisions on the content of legislation that comes. The European Commission is divided into lots of different departments, a bit like government ministries, and as Arturo said, I work in the Research and Innovation department. Traditionally, that department has focused simply on EU financing of research and innovation projects. Increasingly, we're not looking only at the financing and where we put money, but also on trying to shape the surrounding political policy context so that much of that innovation can begin to be taken up in commercial application. This diagram is a visual representation of the circular economy. I won't go into it in detail. All I want you to understand is the right-hand side says technical materials. The blue bit are the circles that are not biological, they're not renewable. So it's stuff that's taken out of the ground, and in theory at least, though not very often in practice, at least not yet, can be endlessly recycled in closed loops. The left-hand side is the same idea, but with our friend the biosphere included. So that is biological resources in the context of a circular economy, where the difference being is that they may sometimes be recyclable in endless closed loops, but more often they are materials that are likely to feed back into the biosphere and become, at some time in the future, again, part of our productive processes. There is now a specific group within the European Parliament focused on the bioeconomy. There is a big new alliance of industrial lobby organisations in Brussels called the European Bioeconomy Alliance, bringing together the farmers and the biotechnology industries and so on and so forth. The biggest bit of the funding, of course, for us is our friend Horizon 2020. I won't talk to you at length about Horizon 2020 because I think you are aware of what it is. Perhaps just one or two words you'll allow me nevertheless. It has a budget of 80 billion euros behind it. 80 billion euros makes it the world's largest research and innovation program, and I think we should all be extremely proud of that. It is also a very significant increase on previous levels of EU funding for research and innovation, which is good, and even more significant when you think that it was decided at a time of budget austerity. So it's one of the very few parts of the EU budget where there were high-level political decisions taken saying this needs to increase irrespective of what is happening elsewhere.
Let me ask you this. Now there is people opposing vaccination. There is a current trend, an increasing trend of people opposing vaccination. Will the Commission leave also to the national governments to decide whether they want or not to apply a public policy of obligatory vaccination? Because this, of course, has impact on the neighboring countries and actually on global basis.
I don't know. I think what your question does is raise some of the very serious issues about balancing, as I said, democracy against science. I don't suppose that the proposed solution in the case of GMOs is necessarily something that would then be applied across the board, but that kind of decision goes way beyond my sort of kind of my level of operation. But I think simply by asking the question, you correctly echo some of the comments that we've also heard from other parties about the Commission's proposal.
Ha sido un verdadero privilegio poder asistir a esta conferencia. Una conferencia que me ha impresionado mucho, sobre todo quizás por haber sido organizada 100% por estudiantes españoles en el campo de la biotecnología. Me ha impresionado el optimismo y la ambición de todos los estudiantes que están. Vuelvo entonces a Bruselas con un buen dosis de ese optimismo que me han dado. Notable también el hecho de que hayan podido traer a un ganador de un premio Nobel, lo que me parece muy importante y es un buen señal de lo serio que se está tomando entonces su asociación aquí y del buen futuro que seguramente tendrá.